You're watching the Hallowed Chambers on TVC News. I am Tijesu Adewi. The Senate has confirmed Professor Joash Ojo Amupitan as the substantive chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, following a rigorous 2-hour screening session at the National Assembly. Lawmakers described his credentials as impressive, but pressed him on key issues surrounding electoral reforms, logistics, and inclusivity in Nigeria's electoral process. The screening session began with the nominee reading out his academic and professional profile, one that reflected decades of experience in law, academia, and public service. While senators commended his impressive portfolio, they did not spare him the tough questions, ranging from election logistics, technology, security, and inclusivity. Professor Amupitan pledged to work with the National Assembly to advance legislation that enforces a 35% affirmative action for women and persons with disabilities in the electoral process. He further noted that reviewing aspects of the Electoral Act, particularly on electronic transmission of results, will enhance credibility and public confidence in the system.
For me, giving some level of comfort is the additional fact that you are, in addition to being a professor of law, you are a senior advocate of Nigeria. And this is the first time a senior advocate, in addition to being a professor, the two combined is being nominated for this office. Why I say I agree with Ningi is because from the resume of your predecessors, there is no lack of scholarship or intellectual capacity or prowess in them at all. The issue has been, as he rightly said, integrity, patriotism, and above all, courage to do the right thing and capacity to be fair. Elections should not bring us down or make us look small or divide us. And you are aware of the onerous responsibility that history beckons on you. What would you do differently?
You have satisfied both in character and learning for the award of the numerous degrees that you have now. One of the very critical things or concerns of Nigerians, and indeed the international community, is the integrity of elections, which could make or mar democracy. I want to ask, with your wealth of experience, can you share with us what accountability mechanisms that you will expand or introduce into our electoral process?
The ugly scenario in courts of the government in power at the state sweeping everything. So there are various schools of thought to the effect that if this conduct of elections at the local government level, which is at the grassroots level, is transferred to the Independent National Electoral Commission, there will be transparency and fairness in the conduct of the local government elections. And then at the end of the day, the outcome of the election will be a real replica of the wishes and aspirations of the people. What is your opinion as to this school of thought? Maybe the Constitution Review Committee will be properly guided.
The conduct of local government elections. This has been debated widely by the various states Independent National Electoral Commission. And the view of most people is that that power should be transferred to INEC because of what has happened or is happening to the election into the various area councils in Abuja. Of course, there are overlap provisions that those states must use the voters' register compiled by INEC. But one of the concerns is that, is it not going to add another burden on INEC? Because if you are going to conduct election into 774 local government, apart from what we already have now, until we get there to look at the logistics and the infrastructure of doing that. So it's been long debated that there's a need for that issue to be reviewed. So we will look at it, and it's not something that I may be able to provide an answer for.
The nomination of Professor George Amupitan, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, for appointment as Chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission, is hereby approved.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, wants Nigerians to have faith and commitment in the current administration, particularly as the gains of its reforms are becoming more visible. He said this at the launch of 2 books authored by the Director General of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, Abubakar Suleiman. The NILS DG said the 2 books are part of his contributions to strengthening the nation's democracy. His years of stewardship are captured in the book titled Transformative Leadership in Practice, NILS, under Professor Abubakar O. Suleiman. The second book speaks to destiny, character, and leadership.
Starting from Alhaji Amina Sagaya, she said it here too, who a woman, a student that I taught from Ogun State, introduced me to. I have a lecturer, please, can you just assist me to be a minister? And that was January 2014. And by June, you were there, the governor of Akwa Ibom State. By June 2014, he became ministry and became the Minister of Federal Development.
Today, the leadership of this country, through President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is very determined to leave behind a better country for posterity. We are working in the National Assembly in collaboration with NILS to transform the legislative structure of the country. We are doing a lot to ensure that we reposition Nigeria.
Under his guidance, the institution has evolved into a true think tank and capacity building institution that continues to bridge the gap between policy, legislation, and governance.
I am delighted with the opportunity to do this book review on a well-chosen theme of transformative leadership, as exhibited by a truly exemplary scholar administrator.
It was a solemn day at the National Assembly as the House of Representatives held a valedictory session in honor of the former Speaker Agunwa Anyekwe. The former Speaker died in July at the age of 68. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, opened the floodgates of tributes. He says the session is not just a ritual, but a time to appreciate the immense contributions of the former Speaker and his tenacity even in the face of aggression. Other contributors, including the Deputy Speaker and colleagues, are consoled with the remarkable achievement of the late Agunwa Anyekwe in his brief sojourn as Speaker. They challenged leaders in position of authority to always be conscious of the legacy they leave behind.
He recognized that the strength of a legislature lies not in power for its own sake, but in the responsible exercise of authority. He approached the speakership not as a platform for personal elevation, but as a constitutional trust. Under his leadership, the House maintained coherence in the face of political uncertainty. He upheld the sanctity of this House and demonstrated that even in turbulent periods, legislative order can be preserved through restraint and conviction.
He was a man who not only served in this House, but helped to shape the moral compass of parliamentary leadership in Nigeria. He belonged to that rare breed of lawmakers who understood that politics is not an occupation, but a calling, a mission to advance the public good, even when the path is uncertain. His passing reminds us that while institutions endure, it is men of character who give those institutions life.
Our Speaker, Chief Agunwa, was elected our Speaker, the Speaker of the House of Reps in 1992, and same day I was also elected as the Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps. Our period was truncated, was very short, but it was full of events. So many things have happened.
The loss of Agunwa is the loss of a man who is what every good politician or good Nigerian will ask for. Because he's a man who is steady. You don't doubt where he is at any given time. He became endeared to our structure in Anambra State when there was a de-recognition of our PDP in Anambra State, my own faction. Because, you know, we fought godfathers there. It's not easy to fight godfathers, especially when they have backing from Abuja. But Agunwa was with us, and we fought. And we gave Anambra people the dividends of democracy through that fight.
He was truly a leader. And if you would hear from the testimonies that have been given, at that young age, attempting to stand in front of a runaway train. We all know who the military boys were. So he has paid his dues. And at moments like this, we're truly reminded, very somber moments like this, that what is truly ours is not what we hold dear or what we keep. It is what we give. Now he will be remembered by the things he handed out to others and by the lives he touched.
On behalf of my entire family, the entire INEC family, we want to say a big thank you for honoring our father in this very special way. And also a very big thank you for all the support that we've received right from the day of his passing up until this very day. In these very difficult and trying times, we are comforted by the very kind words that have been said about him today. It tallies with the memories that we have of him as a father and as a husband. And his passing has left us with a very deep void that can never, ever be filled.
Senator Seriake Dixon says he remains firmly rooted in the People's Democratic Party despite the growing wave of defections shaking Nigeria's political landscape. Speaking to journalists at the National Assembly, Senator Dixon reaffirmed his loyalty to the PDP, describing recent defections to the ruling party as acts that weaken democracy and make the country appear politically unstable. The lawmaker blamed PDP leaders and governors for creating the crisis within the party and urged them to take responsibility rather than abandon the platform that once gave the Niger Delta region national prominence. Senator Dixon, however, noted that being in opposition does not mean hostility towards the government. He cited his support for the president's tax reform proposals and his opposition to the Rivers State Emergency Declaration as proof of issue-based politics. He maintained that his politics is guided by principle, not convenience, warning that a democracy without opposition risks sliding into dictatorship.
In Ghana, they have established a tradition of a party losing power to the opposition, and all politicians in that party that has been defeated stay put, reorganize and rebuild and consolidate and rebrand. Or in Nigeria, everyone is rushing to the ruling party. You don't even know what is pursuing them or what they are pursuing. Huh? You don't really know what they are pursuing or what is pursuing them. But whatever it is, belittles our democracy and endangers our multi-party democracy. I believe in a multi-party Nigeria. A plural Nigeria can only thrive on a plural democratic environment.
We will take a quick break, and when we return, the Deputy Majority Leader of the House of Representatives will join us live on the program to speak about the recent political defections into the All Progressives Congress.
I write to request the kind approval of the National Assembly.
Behind every decision, every vote,
The ayes have it.
and every heated debate lies the heartbeat of democracy.
This matter is very, very important.
I therefore rule you out of order.
Welcome to the place where it all unfolds. Every week, I take you inside the inner workings of the assembly, where laws are shaped, decisions are made, and the future of the nation is decided.
The ayes have it.
Join me, Tijesu Adeoye, and other seasoned experts, analysts, and lawmakers at the National Assembly as they uncover the real stories behind the headlines and offer unfiltered insight on the most pressing issues of the day. This is your front row seat to the heart of power. Watch the Hallowed Chambers every Saturday at 9 p.m. only on TVC News. Joining me live from the National Assembly is Honorable Abdullahi Halims, Deputy Majority Leader representing Ankpa, Omala, Olamaboro, Federal Constituency of Kogi State. Glad to have you on the program.
Thank you very much.
Your party seems to be enjoying the gale of defections from the other political parties, especially the PDP. Does this translate to better legislations and governance?
Let me thank God for that, that very beautiful scenery. And let me simply say, is volume increase. You know, when you have volume increase or volume addition, ceteris paribus, you will be happy. You understand? Especially when it comes to party politics, because it is about addition in number. And in every election, this movement must happen. And this movement is happening in favor of my party, which I am the Deputy Majority Leader in the House of Reps. So I feel excited, I feel honored, and I feel grateful to God that it's happening in my own time.
How will you respond to fears in some quarters that Nigeria is drifting towards a one-party state?
No, it's not true. We have PDP, we have Labour Party, we have ADC, we have other party, we have APGA. So we are not in one party system. All these parties are there, and we have their representatives in the National Assembly, in the Senate, in the House of Reps. We have them in governors, we have them in State House of Assemblies. You understand? So there's nothing like one party system.
Yes, indeed, there are politicians who we see defecting every day.
Yes, that is what happens. They are not only defecting to APC, some are defecting to PDP too. Some are defecting to Labour Party. At the national level here, where the eyes of the public are looking, that is where you are saying. In other states, in state assemblies, there are such movements too in favor of what prevails in that state.
But why do you think your party has become the most preferred destination? Could it be because of ideology or its status as the ruling party?
Yes. Number one, we have stability and our economic reform programs. Very suitable. And we are enjoying, peace in our party. And that is the focal point. Peace in our party. Stability in our party. And Mr. President is performing wonderfully well with his team of economic advisors. No matter what we are passing through now, we are seeing that, yes, very soon, very, very soon, we will have stability. We will have a reformed economy. We will have a renewed hope working with all its 4 legs.
Let's talk about the 6th alteration to the Constitution, which is currently at different stages in the National Assembly. Which of these bills would you say stands out?
We have several bills that are there. We have for state creation. We have INEC reform bills. We have so many of them. Security. Parties presented so many bills, and we are looking at them gradually. And very soon, in fact, as a member of the committee, we have gone almost 85%, and we are very soon we'll wrap up the whole business, and we'll tell the public where we are.
One of those bills proposes a conclusion of all litigations arising from the conduct of elections before swearing in. Now, is this achievable, and how would it strengthen the electoral process?
That is not 185 days to provide for 6 good months. Yes, that is about 185 days. 6 months is about 185, isn't it? Yes, this is to allow for litigations to be litigation time to be exhausted before somebody is inaugurated, to avoid the unnecessary embarrassment that normally comes. You understand?
The gender bill is also gaining traction, but some people are also curious about how it will help in ensuring the emergence of female candidates.
This is part of our very serious discussion, and by the grace of God, from the feelings of the members of the committee, we are all, in fact, I can say almost everybody is in support of special seat for women. You understand? And community policing is one of the bills we are discussing. And despite we are waiting for, when we come to the plenary for, General House to look at the bill, the committee at the committee level, we have done a very wonderful work, and by the grace of God, we'll get to success level. On state creation, I'm one of the people who is fighting for creation of my own state, Okura State, and all energies are being channeled to ensure that yes, the state is created out of the present Kogi State. This is to ensure development for the entire Igala-Bassa Kingdom. You understand? Because that is where I come from too. So I can take advantage of my position today to fight that the state is created for my people.
Finally, do you feel the pulse of your people? How well has your representation benefited your constituents?
Yes, thank you very much. About representation, my idea about representation is not about sitting down in the National Assembly and make laws for the good governance of the people only. You must touch your people. You must give back you must get dividends of democracy down to the grassroots. And that is what we are doing effectively too. We've shown them that yes, you voted for us and you demand to know what we are doing. You demand to benefit. You deserve to benefit from our representation. And we have done that in several forms. We've given them empowerment. We've elevated them in their spheres of life. We've encouraged them through skill acquisition. We've given them permanent and pensionable appointments in the civil service, in agencies of government, and in, a lot of them. We've built schools for them. We've built hospitals for them. We've done roads for them. We've built boreholes for them. We've done open suburb roads for them. To the glory of God. Today, Ankpa Omalala Amboro Federal Constituency are proud of my representation. This is known to everybody.
That is all we have for you on the program today. We are glad you could be a part of it. But it doesn't stop here. You can engage with us online. Follow us on all our social media platforms to get the latest news and updates from the National Assembly and around the world. Thank you for watching. I am Tijesu Adiri. See you next time.